Talk nice and loud so you can hear me clear over there.
Yeah.
We're good? Okay. All right. So we've talked about the standalone controls, those controls that are not controlled by a time clock. And now we're going to talk about the time clock controlled lighting controls.
Yes.
So this panel, this is a relay panel for all of your exterior lighting, including parking lots and bollards, along sidewalks, and some wall packs. Wall packs are on the exterior walls of your building. Okay, this is Leverton lighting controls, and this has the 5-year warranty. This has time clock control, and there's not too much to this. One thing that I think is worth mentioning is that there's no maintenance here. So you don't need to have your maintenance crew come by twice a year or even once a year. It'll just keep working, and unless it doesn't, then you contact us. But it should just keep working for you. For sure, we don't get calls on these breaking down, so it should be fine as far as that goes. This is a device used to program this. During the training, I don't go into this because it would take a long time to train on this, and it's nothing really that you need to know about because I've already programmed. It's a very simple program because all we're doing is turning these relays on 30 minutes before sundown and turning them off, turning them off 30 minutes after sunrise. So it's never dark
Yeah.
when the lights aren't on except for an eclipse.
Yeah.
But that's not going to happen for a long time, and they're very short, so no big deal. Um, so yeah, don't worry about this, but we've got it. We keep it plugged in. It's got some rechargeable batteries in there, so if anybody does need to ever come service it, it should just work if they turn this on. This is your power supply. This is the processor, and this is an input output board, which you're not using. Input output board would be for occupancy sensors and photo cells, but you're not using those here. If your maintenance staff does ever want to come in and just see that the lights all work during the day, then they can come over here and just start turning lights on. So right now I just turned all your loads on the outside of the building. The electrician here has named those loads, labeled them here. So your electrician, your maintenance folks can understand what they're turning on and what they're not turning on. So it's just that simple. There is no dimming outside. For a lot of places there is, but in this case, this is the blue color, and the blue color, if you come back over here, just says networked, which just means time clock control and switching only, not dimming. Okay. Do you have any questions about this? Okay, there really isn't too much else to say. Oh, I know one thing to tell you. If this ever does lose power, what it will do is automatically just turn these on. It's just a safety thing.
Okay.
I mean, but if it's dark and this loses power, the relays already be on. But during the day, if it loses power, it turns them on. But then once the power is restored, it kind of does a little thinking and figures out, oh, it's daytime. I'm going to go ahead and turn these relays off. It takes a few minutes, but it finally figures it out. Okay. I can't think of anything else to tell you about this. There's really not much to it. Again, a simple program. It just works 365 days a year. And oh, it's an astronomical time clock. So it understands that the sunset and sunrise change throughout the year. So it follows that. It understands that. Okay. I guess what I'll do is talk about this a little bit. So this again is called the lighting control submittals. This will be turned over to the owner at towards the end of the project. And on here, we're standing in this little room right there, and there's the symbol for this panel. So when you guys get this, you can kind of, maybe somebody who's not familiar with this place can look here and see, okay, there's a lighting control panel. Oh, where's that? Ah, it's in this little electrical room right here. And Oh, yes, let's talk about this too. So those zones of lighting. So these are little zone tags that like that XS04 just means exterior zone S04. Well, you can take that X, like there's an XS02, XS04, and you're like, what in the world are those? Well, you can come in here to this panel schedule and cross-reference it. XS02 is parking south, and XS04 is site east. So you can kind of then make sense of these labels they put on here. Bollards is on here, right there. So you know that that's the one that controls the bollards. And then you can kind of see where that is on your plans by following that zone tag and cross-referencing it. So I hope that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's pretty much covers it. Again, not very complex, although I did think of one thing that really should have been mentioned in the while we were talking about the interior. So I'll mention it now. Remember how I pointed to those sensors on the ceiling?
Yeah.
So those are battery sensors.
Oh.
So there are batteries in those. Those batteries are supposed to last. It's either 7 or 10 years. So I think it's 7 years on those. So you don't have to think about them for a long time.
Yeah.
But at some point, those are going to go. So I would make a note of that, and maybe somebody can, if there's like a property management company, they could set a calendar reminder for 5 years and just replace them in 5 years. For those sensors, it's just a little. I always forget what they're called. Those rectangular batteries. What are those?
Are they like a?
What's that? 9 Oh, they're 9 volts. Oh, okay. And then that's what they're called, 9 volts. Yeah, yeah. Those little rectangular 9 volt batteries. So
Okay.
I think you've got 5 of them on this project. That sounds right. Okay. And this would be a good time for me to share one more thing for you. So this is your bill of materials. So I just had that question, like, how many of those
Sensors?
how many of those aux sensors are there? Well, I think I just found them right here. ZoomS occupancy sensor. There's 6 of them.
Well, there's only 5 installed.
Oh, only 5 installed. Okay. So yeah, so you would need 5 of those 9 volt batteries in 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions?
So is it easy to like unscrew?
Oh, very.
Okay.
Yeah. It's literally very simple. It's lefty loosey, righty tighty, like
Yeah.
everything. So you grab the whole thing, twist it, and it's just a lid, and then
Okay.
the sensor stays up there, and up in there is kind of clipped in is the battery.
Oh,
You
gotcha.
just give it a little tug. It comes right out. You unclip it, shove another one in, shove it up. There's no reprogramming. And
Nothing.
if they ever do lose their battery power, they'll never forget who they are, who they're paired with.
Yeah.
So don't worry about that. If you don't need to worry about reprogramming or thinking it loses its memory or anything. You just put another battery in and it'll work.
Okay. Oh, nice.
And there's even a little test button on those sensors. So if you ever want to, you can take the lid off, hit the test button, and you'll see that the lights turn off in that space. And then you hit it again, they'll turn back on. That just lets you know that wireless pairing I talked about has been done.
Nice. Okay. Easy.
All right, we're good?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.